Hi. Over the last year, I've been dabbling into shadow work quite a bit and also shadow techniques. And today I want to share just a few of my experiences with all of you here in this video. Maybe there's some resonance, maybe some people can relate to it. I would love to hear if that is the case. And if not, well, then this is just my experience so far with shadow work and shadow techniques. So the first one, there's a couple of guys that I've been working with the shadow work and shadow techniques, revealing to each other and getting help from that. And to go a little bit back to give you a background story, a very good friend of mine, my oldest friend in fact, we've known each other since we were 5 years old. Tell each other most things, you know, as close friends they do. And so he's got this multi-million-dollar idea, an incredible business idea, and he's been working on it for about 2 years, and he's a bit slow to get off the road, off track. So I tell this idea to the people I'm doing shadow work with. Naturally, we tell each other everything. That's what the shadow work is about, right? Getting into the deepest and the darkest and everything that we can find. And I tell them about this friend and this business idea, you know, and they're like, "Oh, this is a brilliant idea. This is genius. Why don't we do it?" You know. And of course, I've promised my oldest friend that I would never tell a soul about it. Like, this is such a genius, innovative, new idea that I should be very careful, in fact, who I tell it to, because it would very easily be copied. So I had promised him that I would never tell anyone. And there I was telling my other friends about it. You know, and they're like, "Yeah, we could totally do it. We could make it work like this in no time. It would take, you know, a couple of months, get this off the road, and we'll make millions, and we'll do good with the money, right? We'll do this and this and this and that." Okay. So in the beginning, I'm super excited, you know, like, yeah, that's great. Let's do it. I never thought I could do it on my own, but with these people, for sure, it will be a possibility. So just to go a little sidestep here. Turns out, doing shadow work, I've always considered myself like a super nice, humble, kind, down-to-earth, really good, loyal friend, you know, just a really nice guy. So doing the shadow work, it turns out I've spent so much energy my entire life, and very possibly still am to a large extent, spending so much energy trying to uphold this image of myself, of being this great, really loyal, straight-up guy, really good guy. So anyway, I'm excited about this business model, and we say, yeah, let's go for it, let's see how we do it, this and that. But because we're doing shadow work, my friend, the one who's always guiding this process, then tells me that, well, let's just look at what's happening here, right? You have like a very good friend, right? And you basically want to copy his business. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, it could be done, you know, we all have a third each, we do this and that, blah, blah, blah. I painted a very, very nice picture. And you know, we sat back and forth, and then basically he guides me into asking, like, well, what's the right thing to do here? You know, I don't think my friend should ever find out that we can just copy it, right? We can just do it. I say, he doesn't need to know what we're doing, right? Because he doesn't have a patent on it. He doesn't have you know, ownership rights or anything. Like, it's a free world, free market, right? At worst, it would just be like backstabbing him. We're not doing like the nicest thing as a friend, but it's a free market and we don't need to tell him, right? So that was me basically. Here comes the shadow techniques of the mind. So that was basically me seeing, like, how could I get away with this, copy the business model, but without actually telling him, without owning up about it. But at the same time, being all righteous and all proper, right? So I was asking my friends who guide me in the shadow process, but what is the right thing to do? Really, I want to know, like, what's the right thing to do? Should I tell him? Or should I not tell him and just do it anyway? Because it probably wouldn't benefit him, right? Or like, what's the strategy? What's the best way? And they're like, well, I think it's pretty straightforward. If he's your long life old friend since you were 5 years old, and you promised not to tell anyone about it, and here you are telling us about it, and you want to do it, it's okay, you want to do it. It's a free world, this is a free market, but be honest, open up, truth, right? Truth is always the right thing to do. So if you really want to do it, the right thing to do, through the shadow work and everything, would be to tell the truth. Then the technique of the mind, I come in looking for ways that I could basically escape. Because for me, having upheld this image of myself my entire life, now confronting my oldest friend and showing him my true colors would be devastating. It's just devastating. So quickly, techniques of the mind to find ways, how can I get out of this so this wouldn't happen? I would love to do the business model, this business opportunity, it's great, but how do I do it in a way that he will not find out, right? How do I get out of this? So quickly I make up a story, I spin a story in my mind, which is not true. And this is not true at all, but I portray it like it's true. I say, so the thing is, my friend, he's a bit traumatized from childhood, you know. He was bullied when he was in high school. This part is true. He was bullied in high school. The second part is not true. And because he was bullied in high school, like he feel betrayed by friends. This is not true. And I think it would hurt him a lot. It would maybe even like invoke his trauma as a child if I would come to him and show him how I'm backstabbing him or how I'm doing him wrong. Like, it's a free world, as we all know. It's not like I'm not doing anything wrong, but I don't think it would be beneficial to him. You see, I try to spin the story so it's beneficial for how it would be beneficial for my friend not to tell him. But really, all I care about is myself. So my friend, guiding the process, says like, no, I don't think that's how it works really, to be honest. You seems like you're trying to find a way to get out of this. The right thing to do would be, whatever you don't know how your friend's going to feel or not, like that's just your perception of your mind, that's your assumption, you don't know. The right thing to do would be to tell the truth. So I said, okay, so maybe, but because he's traumatized and he really wouldn't benefit from it, like I don't think it would be a good thing. Like maybe it would be better to just like tell him that I would like to do it and include him in it. And they were like, well, do you really want to include him in it? And already earlier I said like, no, it would just be the three of us working together. So again, I was trying to find an escape. Like, well, maybe if I include him, like we make it in between 4 of us instead of 3, then it'll be okay. So the guy doing the process, guiding it, said like, no, we're doing this between the 3 of us, or we're not doing it at all. But we're going to do this because clearly you stated that you want to. So basically, when I found out that there was no other way around it, that there was only to the truth, if I truly wanted to do this properly how it should be, and they were not up for me not telling the truth. I tried several times, going over and over again, explaining how that he was so traumatized as a child, how this would be better for him, really. But they broke down that act that I was doing in trying to protect him, but really what I was doing was protecting myself. Yeah. So when that became blatant, that there was no other way, that the only way to do it was to confront him and tell him that I wanted to do this business, I wanted to copy it, and I was going to do it. When that became a reality, that was the only way, and we were going to do it, I went into panic because that would mean that I have to show myself in true colors that I'm actually a bit of a fucker and I would want to do this even though I promised him and so many times told him that he's got the best idea in the world, so genius, so great, but I would never copy it and I would never tell anyone, of course, and here I am wanting to steal the whole idea for myself. So when that became a harsh reality, there was no way around it and I was going to have to confront him, the idea of confronting him with this truth was more painful to me to the potential millions of dollars that we could make copying this business model, because it's so important to me to uphold this image of myself, who I am, of what I like people to think that I am, at least, and what I think I am of myself. But doing the shadow work, clearly I'm seeing different things. So then I made another technique in my mind, like, well, no, whoa. It was so painful for me just to think that I would have to confront him and like to show those true colors, yeah, to anybody else outside this safe circle of the darkness that we're doing together. So I said like, no, actually, you know what? I thought more about it. Yeah, no, I'm very clear. It's not the right thing to do. I will not be such a bad friend, a backstabber friend. I would never do that. No, I won't do it. And my 2 friends were like, what? We've just been sitting here for 2 hours talking about it, how we're going to do it, how we're going to make money, and how it's such a great idea, and you had no problem the whole time at all. But now suddenly, when you find out that the truth is that you have to go confront your friend, grow a pair of balls, and tell him what you're going to do, then you back out. This has nothing to do with you being a good friend and you not wanting to backstab a friend. This is all about you not having balls, being a pussy, not wanting to do the right thing. And again, I couldn't accept that about myself, so I was like, no, you guys are completely wrong. Definitely nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. I'm seeing clearly now, I am not such a guy. I would not do that. This is a higher truth. It's a higher truth. Genius mind. It's a higher truth. It was true what I said before. I did want to do it. It was a great idea, and I had the thought about it. But now there's a higher truth, which is, I don't want to do this. It's not the right thing to do. And I will not lower my energy and do anything like that. Then they went back and forth again. This went on for about 40 minutes, honestly, 40 or maybe 50 minutes. And them saying like, dude, what are you talking about? We already spoke about everything. You clearly wanted to. Them trying to show me how I was just guarding myself, protecting myself, trying to find an escape route in order not to have to confront this. And also not accepting that I'm actually really just a fucker and I wanted to do it all along. So it went on for let's say 40 or 50 minutes. And back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I got more and more wound up. And like so strong in my truth, and it just got more and more and more, and I became so like spiritual ego, arrogant, like you can't tell me what the truth is, like this is my truth. It may be that the truth was something else before, but now my higher truth is something else. Like I was so adamant, so like stuck in it, until about 40-50 minutes, it was finally broken down. It was shown to me that this has nothing to do with the higher truth. It was about self-preservation, protection of the mind of my ego, that it could not look at itself in this manner. It could not accept itself being a fucker, being not a friend, not a loyal friend, and not even stepping up and just owning that. So the moment when I had to own that, step up to that, that was probably the toughest process of shadow work so far. Seeing myself in that light, that reality of who I really am, what I truly am, not what I portray to the world, not what I try and show, not what I believe about myself, because I did believe that I was such a nice, perfect, humble, kind, generous, loyal guy. And when that whole thing crumbled, like, holy shit, like that was something. So that was that. The second thing I want to share then is with my mother. So this was one thing, right, of shadow work, and then the techniques, the mind trying to find ways to get out of it, basically. And the second one is with my mother. For years, I've been helping her manage some real estate investments that she has, and I pay bills for her houses, the community, and electricity, water, etc., stuff like that. My mother is quite an affluent woman, and she's way wealthier than I am, and I had some financial problems at one point. I didn't have much money. So in managing all her money, I would take $500 here, $500 there to help with my expenses, to help with my rent, to help pay my electricity bill, without ever telling her, right? But because she has so much money, and I was doing so much work for her, right, completely for free, but not actually. So I say completely for free. So I lost a lot of money, and like bankrupt, and I had to be bailed out to the bank. And my mother, she bailed me out to the bank. So when I say completely for free, my mother had already paid a sum of money to the bank on my behalf. So me doing all this work for her was already more than covered, more than paid for, okay? Just to put that in there. So I was doing all this work for my mother, managing real estate and funds and paying bills, etc. And I was skimming money on the side, basically $500 here, 1 week, $500 and after a couple of weeks, maybe like $300 here if I needed something. Then like rental income will come from a couple of units, and I'll take like $1,500 here. Then I have to pay like taxes and this and that, and annual minutes, file the annual minutes, meetings, fees and stuff, and all these things. And every time I would all the money would go through my bank account, and I would have to pay different things. So it was so easy to keep a little bit here and there and decide. And all the time in my mind, justifying for myself why it's fair that I'm doing this, why I'm keeping just a little bit. 1, she has so much money. 2, she's my mother. 3, I'm helping her. I'm doing everything for her. 4, every time she needs my help, I'm always there, anytime that she needs. And on and on and on, whatever excuses the mind can come up with, right? So after the process with my friend, we also went into the shadow technique of, next step, right? Because as I understand now, it happens everywhere in life. If the shadow is in one place, it's everywhere. So I've been trying to look, and also been shown where it potentially could be and where it's playing out. So that the last place that I thought was, to this extent, was with my mother, which I'll share. So this has been going on for a little bit more than a decade, 10, 12, maybe up to, 14 years actually, since I really started helping with real estate investments. And 500 here, 300 there, how much does it really add up to, right? It shouldn't be too much. But it turns out, so then when we're going into this, they're like, oh, you really should look at like how much money have you actually stolen from your mom? How much have you actually taken? Justified or unjustified, right? Like how much have you actually taken? So, and they were like, in whatever amount you choose, right? Calculate it, find out. Whatever amount you choose, like add another 10 grand on top, because often we're wrong. I'm like, okay, yeah. So I sit, in my mind, and I go through, I calculate, okay, so like, the first 4 years it was like very little, but then it started growing after the 5 or 6 years, and like some of the last, like, let's say 8-9 years, like it's been like, yeah, but like also I didn't take all the time. I took when I didn't have a job, and then like now that I do have a job, I've been taking, okay, a little bit, but like much less, and like, only like when I needed like some things for myself that I wanted, here and there. So okay, so I'm just gonna put numbers into this, we may take out or not, I don't know, but so anyway, I came up with a number, 50 grand. I have stolen $50,000 from my mother over the last 10 to 14 years since I started managing funds for her. Then I'm gonna add $10,000 because just to be sure, like, and this is money I have to pay back, so just to make sure that I pay her everything that I owe her, and also if the 10,000 is more than what I've stolen, at least she will have some interest. She deserves that, right? Because she's lent me this money all this time, which I'm going to pay back in the near future. Great. So yeah, 60 grand, very proud. This is the amount. Dust and settled. Next shadow technique, next shadow work, let's go. Nothing more to see here. That alone, that itself, also, like the technique of the mind, it comes up with a number which is large enough, in my mind, large enough to make it seem real, legit, that this is the real number. But then I was the guy again leading the process of the shadow work that we're doing. He says like, no. You gotta go through. You gotta go through deeper. You gotta find out. Do all the numbers. Do all the quarterly statements. Do all the transactions. Like find out. I don't care how long it takes. Sit down. Do the numbers. Find out how much is it. What's the actual number? It could be 60. It could be 50. Maybe you're lucky it's 40. Right? Then you save some money. But find out just to be sure. To the last cent. For a couple of weeks I didn't do it. No, it's done, it's dusted, next thing has to be done. There must be like new things to look at, right? We're all here for growth, personal growth, development, let's go, yeah. And he's like, no. And I was pushed, like again, like do it, like not, yeah. Like just my own conscience, him, one thing, and also my own consciousness. Like in my night, dreams would come, like tell me, and it's like thoughts in my mind, like, okay, gotta look at it. But like all the time, like, no, it's done, it's settled. Long story short, I finally get forced to sit down and do the numbers. Actually, when my friend comes to my house, he sits like, he's inside and I'm in another room, and he's like, you don't come out until you finish doing these numbers now. I do them, and the result absolutely baffled me. The amount that I had officially stolen from my mother, right? An angel in my life, who's giving me life, who's birthed me, right? She's giving me life. She's done everything for me, protected me, taken care of me. Like honestly, I only have good things to say to my mother. I only have love to give her, to share for her, to thank her for everything. This woman who bailed me out to the bank, right? Who took care of me financially throughout my whole life, and also my adult life, bailed me out to the bank, okay? This woman who I thought I had stolen, on top of the money, which I didn't steal, she bailed me out to the bank from, that she gave me or that she lent me. On top of that, I have stolen officially $60,000 according to me. The true numbers, what I found out, was more than 3 times that amount. More than 3 times that amount was the official numbers. But my mind, the technique, quickly came up with a number that would say, this is the amount, this is good enough, this is high enough, this is believable. And then end the story, done, dusted. Wow, I was surprised. Honestly, truly surprised. I really thought 60, like, yep, that's it. That's a good number. That is the real number. It's around there for sure. Maybe it could be 70. It could be off, forget something. God knows what happened. Maybe like crazy, like 70. Maybe 80, but 70. But 60, that was already I feel solid. So then be shown 3 times the amount, more than 3 times. More than 3 times the amount. Like the tricks of the mind, the cleverness, the technique, the mastery to be able to fool even oneself. Unbelievable. That is oneself, of course. So oneself can fool oneself. Like it's incredible. So that's the second one, and then the third one also all within money related, right? So each time that one goes to go through this process of like, you know, whether it's greed, or money, or codependence, or whatever we shall call it, it's the shadow, right? So like the idea for me is also to like look more subtle. Where else is it turning out? Because it's not only the big things, it's everywhere. It's also small things. So after having gone through these two, I'm thinking, okay, I'm done. You know, I've done my shadow work. I've done my techniques. I've gotten out like the big ones in life. Now I'm ready to rumble. I'm good, right? A month later, after the one with my mom, the person that has been guiding me in this shadow work, these shadow techniques, right? A guy I could say I owe more to than anyone in the world, let's say, right? So he asked me for a favor. I often do trips abroad to a certain country, and so he asked me also, all he needed to get some stuff from there and bring it back. If I could organize a person to travel on his behalf, and then he would pay for the ticket, the hotel, everything, right? And then yeah, I'll just take care of it for him. And because I owe him so many favors, you know, I'm like, dude, for sure, count on me. I would love to. And anyway, I had to do a trip myself. One thing, I had to give money down there to my provider, and I also want to bring more stuff back myself. So I was looking for two people that could travel, one for my behalf and one for my friend's behalf. Turns out I couldn't find anyone. No one is available. And at the same time, it also turns out that the product that I wanted to collect is not available at this time. But I did have to go and hand over money. This was urgent. So no matter what, I did have to go. But I would hate to go and just give money and not bring anything back. It would be like half wasting a trip, right? So since I couldn't find anyone, and my friend, he didn't expect me to go at all. No, he would say like anyone can go. Like, you don't have to do it for sure. So because nobody could go, no one was available at that time, I had to go myself to deliver money, but I couldn't get any product back myself. He needed to get a product back. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do two birds with one stone, right? I'm gonna go bring his stuff back, and by me going, I get to give the money which I need to hand over, and at the same time, I'm gonna get bonus points because I'm the one going. I'm doing him a favor, right? Such a nice guy, such a great guy. So I tell him, mate, you know what? I can't find anyone, no one's available, but you know what? Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna make sure you get your product as promised. Yeah, you can count on me, buddy. All good. So he's like, oh, sweet, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I ended up going, deliver everything, and I come back. So the thing is, in order for me to get to the international airport, first of all, I have to take a local flight. So when I do the whole trip and I come back and everything, I give him over his product and everything. We sit down. We're about to do numbers, and just to show the techniques again, like I calculated. Okay, so he's gonna pay 100% for the hotel. He's gonna pay 100% for the flights. I tried to add on the domestic flights, but I thought that was a bit of a stretch because I'm also benefiting from going, right? And I'm doing him a favor. So really, the right thing to have done would have been to share at least 50-50 the expenses, right? At least. I mean, I was going anyway. I had to go. I had to get someone to go. But because I thought I could just like get the money sent with the guy traveling on his behalf, which turned out to be me in the end, then I thought I could put the whole bill on his account, right? From the hotel to the flights. Oh, and on top of that, so the people that I usually send, I pay them a fee as well, of course, a salary in order to go and do that. I tried to charge that fee for myself on top of it. So I wanted him to pay for everything. I tried to get the fee on top of it. And I thought about it, but I didn't charge it. I tried to get him to pay for the local flights as well. But I thought about it, but I didn't. I stopped myself doing that, thank God. Wouldn't make much of a difference anyway, would it? But yeah, only to be shown what I'm actually doing with petty money, like, you know, petty money. Like, my mother was talking like many thousands of dollars, you know, but here with a friend who has done more for me than probably anyone else I've met or anyone else in my life, besides maybe my mother giving birth to me in that sense. I tried to fuck him over. I try to find a way that I can benefit of him, like getting what he has to do and trying to get a trip for free and being paid for doing the trip. So it's just to show, like, even though that shadow work is being done, one thing is not enough. It acts out everywhere in all aspects, small and big. Even after such big processes, with the guy that I feel I owe more than anyone in the world, though he says I don't owe him anything, even there, even with him, I try to fuck him over. Even with him. So, shadow work, techniques of the mind, insane. Really gotta be present, really gotta be aware, really gotta try to catch this stuff. It's acting out everywhere. All right, much love.